Hello Internet, it's Tyler again, and here is another Freeblades 101 video. This one, we're going to be talking about the different stat cards that you can have with Freeblades. Now, DGS Games on their websites has a stat card for every model they make. You can go download it right now for free and take a peek at it. It's really cool because you can go and check out a faction to see, ooh, is this the faction I want? You can look to see what models are available, what rules they have, if it's something that's like your style or whatnot. In talking with the stat cards, there are three different kinds. There's ones for heroes, ones for followers, and one for creatures. I am just going to go talk about the heroes and the followers because that's what you use in your free bands. Excuse me. And creatures aren't used more in scenarios. So what are the main difference between a hero and a follower? Well, the classification denotes whether you have a ability score of a D8 or an ability score of a D6. Heroes have ability scores of D8 as their base, and will have at least 2 life points, and some have more. Followers will have a base ability score of a D6, and usually only have 1 life point. Hence the term they're followers. They are supposed to follow the heroes, not lead the way, because they will die quicker. Looking at the Forge Warden leader stat card that we have here, you'll notice the leader is a little different than the other ones because he's got this text underneath his picture, and it shows and tells what special rule he gives to his free band. All the leaders have a special rule that they give out to their free band, and it's denoted there. It also shows on the card that he is a hero. It shows his gold. That's how much he costs to recruit. Think of that, if you're used to tabletop wargaming, that's the points of the model. It shows how his ability is a D8, but it also has this STR above it as a D10. What that means is STR is the abbreviation for strength, and he uses a D10 when he makes any type of a strength check. There are 6 different attributes in Freeblades. There's strength, denoted by STR, dexterity, denoted by DEX, agility is AGL, endurance is END, spirit is SPR, and knowledge is KNW. Now you can also take mobility tests if you want to jump, jump, climb, or swim. Those will use whatever your ability rating is, unless you're trained in it, and it'll tell you over here if you're trained in it. There's also skill tests you can take. The Forge Warden, for instance, you can see he has a devices D8, which means if he would ever have to use a device, if a scenario called for you have to open a door, do something along the lines that would require a device roll, he would get to use a D8 because he's trained in it. If he would have to climb, he would get to use a D8 because he's a hero, and that is what their normal ability is, and he is not trained better in it. Some will have higher swims, some will have higher climbs, some will have higher jumping. On the main stat line, we have a speed, which, again, everything is in inches in this game. His MAR, which is his melee attack rating, is the die you will roll when you want to hit somebody with your melee weapon. The melee weapon is the MW next to it, tells you what the weapon is, the damage it can do. The RAR is the ranged attack rating. The Forge Warden does not have a ranged attack, so that's why it's dashed out. Otherwise it would be something along the lines of bow, or it would be a D8. And then in the ranged weapon, it would be bow, and then it would give a band. Going over here is his defense, DEF. It says 5S. You may wonder what that S stands for. Well, down here in the bottom it says shields is denoted by S. That's a weapon attribute, even though it's armor. It says he gets a +1 base defense, which is already included, and it's ignored by attacks through the rear arc. So that's why an opponent wanting to hit him would have to roll their MAR. So if he was trying to hit himself, he'd roll a D12, and he would need to roll a 5 or more on the D12. The armor value is 6, so that's how he's pretty heavily armored. So if you roll that 5 or more to hit him, you'll then take your melee weapon, which, again, if he was trying to hit himself, he's using a D8, and he gets to add 1 to it because he has a high strength. He has to equal that 6 or get higher. If he does that, he suffers a life point. He has 4 life points because he's fairly tough. You'd have to wound him 4 times to kill him, and then he has a discipline rating of D12 because he is a leader. He has a higher than normal discipline. Underneath, are all of his abilities he has. He has the leader ability, which it goes through and tells you what that does. Shoot them, Die Hard, Fortress, March, Tough, Devices, and Alpine. Every stat card will have what the special abilities they have are and give you a short description of what it is, so you're not always looking at the rule book. Again, for free, print them out, take them with you, they're great. So now we're going to go to a follower. So here we have a Quarreler. Again, card looks really the same, has a picture of the model, has what his base ability rating is of a D6. He has no bonuses, no extra added on. Yay, he's better in any of the other attributes. So he would always roll just a D6. Denotes he has a follower, and he has 15 gold. His speed, again in inches. His melee attack rating is a D4 because, well, he's a shooter, not really a close quarter guy. He has a dagger, which is what his melee weapon is, that does a D4 for damage. So he really doesn't want to get up close with anybody. He's got a RAR because he has a crossbow. So he has a range attack rating of a D6. The weapon for it, as you can see here, is a double crossbow that does D6 plus 1 damage. You'll also notice it has DSH and RE, and you're like, oh, what are those? Again, all of that stuff on the stat card right underneath here. Shows double shot is abbreviated by that, and reload is abbreviated by that, and it goes to tell you what those are. Underneath it, you then have the range band. So he can shoot from 1 to 8 inches, and he's going to be in considered short range. What that is that there's going to be no penalty. If he's shooting greater than 8 and up to 16, he's going to be at the medium range. And then if he's going over 16 and up to 24, he's going to be at long range. His defense is 4. So again, somebody trying to hit him would have to roll a 4 or more. His armor value is 5. So somebody trying to wound him would have to roll a 5 or more from whatever their weapon damage is. Shows that he has 1 life point, and his discipline is a D6. Again, shows what his abilities he has. He has just Die Hard, March, and Alpine. And that's a follower. Again, you can see heroes have a lot more abilities, have a lot better stats, and they're all around going to be better than the followers. They also cost a lot more than the followers. But that's okay. Now we're going to come to kind of a special hero, besides the leader, is the caster. Now the caster, again, is a standard hero. As you can tell, hero, his ability is a D8, his gold he costs. Again, speed, what his melee attack is, what the weapon is he uses. He has no ranged weapon. He's got the defense of 4, the armor value of 2. He has 2 life points like most heroes do, and he has a discipline. Higher than the follower, but not as good as the leader. Where things get a little different is the fact that he has ice magic. And he has a D10/15 here. The D10 is his caster rating, his car. And the 15 is how many power he has, which is also right there listed right next to it on these sheets. It shows what kind of magic he's using, ice magic. He then has a special spell ability that he can try and do. Can make spells go longer, expand the range on them and whatnot. It would just take more power to do that. Also, on the same sheet, we have what his spells are. It goes in and talks about how it's the spell and the power cost is in parentheses. It's ice magic and what kind of magic. There's energy and spirit magic. The two do not like each other. And when they get used on the same table, bad things can happen. And then just in pretty much alphabetical order, it goes through the spells he knows. He knows Cone of Frost, which would take 2 power to cast. What does it do? Tells it right there. Freeze takes 1 power to cast. What it does. Frostbite, Ice Barrier, etc., on down tells you what the spell is, how much it casts, what the spell does. The only thing it doesn't tell you is what the ice tokens and template effects are, and for that, you'll need that, the companion. So that doesn't have every single thing. The newer bands, the ones that have the templates, that have the different tokens, you would need the rulebook for. You would need the companion for, because that's where those are located. That's where the rules for those are located. If you weren't going to be using this guy and you just wanted to not take a caster, which you're not required to take one, you wouldn't need the companion then. All of the rules for everything are right here. Talking about the companion is a one-time $6 fee, and you'll get a PDF that gets updated with different rules when they add models, etc., etc. But it's good for life. Now here we have just another more beefy melee hero. And what he does, again, you can see he's got the hero denotion, his gold, his ability is D8, but he has an endurance of D10. Again, it goes through. You can see his speed, his mar, what his melee weapon is. He does not have a ranged attack. The defense, which is what you need to be hit. The armor value, which is what they need to wound you. How many life points he has, and then his discipline. And all the special rules and his weapon ability. Every faction, every model, every creature, every ally, every enemy has a stat card. Again, these are free. Go to their website, download them, look at them, kind of get a feel for what they can do. What faction are you going to like? You know, if you want somebody that's slow and hard to hit, or not hard to hit, but hard to kill, you know, the Khazariks or the Herdelans might be something you might like because those guys are heavily armored. You know, if you're more of the, I want somebody that's got the high speed, the high mobility, that can, you know, go in and hit and, you know, maybe be more of a avoidance type list. You know, maybe you're going to want to take the Udagar or the one of the bandit factions. You know, there's options for you. The Grular are really good at hitting hard and trying to stay out of combat. You know, the Trillions, they're more good at ranged. They have the more range options if that's what you want to do. And again, you just look at it and you go from there. It doesn't cost anything. Go online, download them, look at them on your device, computer, whatever you want. I just think it's a really cool feature that Freeblades gives you. You can figure out what models you want to use. And again, all of those are free. You don't even have to create an account on the website. Just go to their download section and record. Hope you guys enjoy, and until next time.